That is so cool. You got like the best adult summer camp experience. Like you got everything: horseback riding, shooting, falcon. Like that is amazing.
So you see how aggressively I'm shaking my head, right? Like, yes,
Yeah.
it was definitely a boys' camp for me.
Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watcher Pass, and today I'm joined by Mustafa Speaks from Joe Pickett, which is coming to Spectrum on Demand and Spectrum on December 6th, 2021. We're going to talk to him in just a second, but first, let's check out the trailer. And while you're watching, if you can like and subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. Helps me out a lot. Thank you.
I was 12 when I decided this is what I want to do. And here I am.
Joe, I know how dangerous your job is. You have got to promise to be careful.
That's my middle name. Is that right?
Can I trust you to look for the truth?
Those are the guys you're looking for. And they're dangerous.
This job will break you unless you learn how to bend.
I can be pretty stubborn. I gotta finish this thing.
Thanks so much for joining me. This is Mustafa Speaks, who plays Nate Romanowski in Joe Pickett, which is coming to Spectrum and Spectrum on Demand on December 6th, 2021. It's a very interesting kind of wilderness mystery survival type movie. And Mustafa, your character is such a fascinating one to have. I mean, I guess the first question is, thank you so much for joining me. And how did you get involved in this? Did you know about the books? Had you read the books before, or how did this come across your desk?
Yeah, firstly, it's a pleasure being here. Thanks for having me. But I never knew anything about this book series, bro. Read a CJ Box, never read any of his books. I'm not even like a fiction type of reader, right? I read all just educational type things, you know. It's just self-motivation type of situations. But to get to your question, I fell in love with this character through the script. Man, the way that John and Drew crafted this story based on CJ Box, I fell in love with this character on the page. And then I talked to them about the world, and not only just the world, but the character and the vision for the character. And I was absolutely in. And then they told me about the book series, and I was fascinated by the book series. So now, man, I'm 11 books in, and
Oh, wow.
I can't. And I felt like it was really important too, of course, to tell the truth of the character and stay true to the world, because I know we have such a following from the book series. So I wanted to make sure I honored the fans and honored CJ Box in that vision as well.
I do love that humble brag at the start where you're like, look, all I do is I read self-improvement. I work on myself. I got no time for fantasy. I gotta make myself better. I love that.
Oh yeah, me all day. Now, I have a particular little tangent here, but my lifestyle, my philosophy is called SS3D. Stand strong in 3 dimensions of your being, your mind, body, and spirit. If you make sure that you enhance and improve every part of that aspect, you read, you study, you do your best to keep your mind sharp, you work out and you train and you eat as best as possible, and then you pray, you meditate, whatever it is that's going to enhance your spirit. It's the 3 dimensions of your being. And from there, you can be the best version of yourself and whatever that is.
That is such a good philosophy. I love that you brought that up, because that is a good kind of piece of advice for anyone. I love that philosophy.
Yeah,
And I also love that you are so introspective and kind of you seem so thoughtful, because your character, that comes out in your character as well. I mean, when we first meet him, I've only watched the first 3 episodes. When we first meet him, you don't really know this person seems like a survivalist, but then as you get more depth, your character just has so much more depth, so much more introspection, so much more thoughtfulness. And I think that you embody that as a person. So that's an interesting synergy that you had there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And that's something, an opportunity that I saw was available in reading the script, right? I mean, there's things that you see on paper, but then there's other stuff as an artist I know I can bring. And I was really grateful to John and Drew for them to allow me to be able to breathe whatever life I felt was necessary for the character. And that's, again, what drew me to this project and why I'm so passionate about being a part of Joe Pickett in this world.
Yeah, and I guess what was it like going out into it's based in Wyoming? I'm not sure if it was filmed in Wyoming, but it is filmed in some sort of kind of small wilderness town. What was that like? Have you had wilderness experience growing up, or was that kind of a big change as well?
Yeah, we shot in beautiful Calgary, Canada. But when I say beautiful, I mean beautiful. It definitely looks like rural Wyoming, right? I've never been around snow-capped mountains before. Just trees, just beautiful, lush grass and different animals. I didn't even know, pardon the ignorance, but I didn't know what a marmot was. All right.
Why would you, right? Yeah.
I'm no stranger to wilderness and nature. My background is marine and environmental science. I'm internationally published for my research in shark behavior. But I've never been in that type of world, and working with apex predators like sharks, it's completely different than working with a falcon, which I trained for with this character. But there were similarities that I truly appreciated and really helped me dive in to bringing authenticity to that role as a master falconer.
So I guess how did you get, I mean, I love the synergy as well with your background, but I guess how did you learn from multiple people? Did you kind of go out camping to prepare for this? Did that all kind of happen when you moved out there? What was that process like to prepare for this survivalist character?
Yeah, well, I actually went out to the woods and lived out there for a month.
Oh wow.
I'm joking.
I was gonna say that's not just because COVID was crazy, just like I gotta get out of here.
No, bro, I didn't do that. I'm not that method, right?
I don't know, man. You sound like you could be.
Yeah, I would. I literally did just come back from doing some training, some weapons training for this. But it's too much. I'm not going to do much right now. But the research I did was I studied with some master falconers, and I was able to truly immerse myself into that experience. And I'm grateful for the production for providing that, because again, it just made me more capable to tell the truth. Not only was it master falconing, I learned how to shoot a bow and arrow. I learned how to hold a 454 Casull, the gun that this character is his signature gun. And I learned how to horseback ride. There were so many different elements of this character that I was able to incorporate into my own life and just, again, bring it to the screen.
That is so cool. You got like the best adult summer camp experience. Like you got everything: horseback riding, shooting, falcon. Like that is amazing.
So you see how aggressively I'm shaking my head, right? Like, yes, yeah. It was definitely a boys' camp for me. And with my own work that I put in that wasn't provided by production, I just did everything I could to enhance myself and enhance the character.
Yeah. That's awesome. It sounds like, I mean, it sounds like maybe you've taken pieces of that back with you after the filming. Like, do you have a bird now? Do you have a falcon? I don't know if those are legal wherever you're living. Do you go out shooting? It sounds like you were shooting recently. Like, what have you taken back now that the first season is filmed? Have you incorporated into yourself?
No, great question. I did take a lot of Nate with me, particularly though his heart and his perspective on life, on situations, but then of course a lot of the skills like horseback riding. This is something now I'm teaching my kids and my wife. I do want to get a horse. Falconry, it's a little bit more involved. I think weapons and such, firearms, things that I said, that's very important, just not only for Joe Pickett, but for the rest of the work that I do. So yeah, a lot from it.
Yeah, definitely. And so I know we have limited time, so I'd like to switch. I call it the lightning rounds. It's very lightweight questions. You answered some of these already, so some of them I'll have to redo. But they're just lightweight questions about the character and see how your experiences map to things that the character does. You can feel free not to answer them, but I try to keep them very answerable.
Okay.
So the first question is, Nate is a survivalist. How long do you think you could survive in the wilderness?
As long as I needed to.
Ooh, it's a very solid and confident answer. I like it. Have you ever hunted?
Yes.
Right.
Hunted what?
I guess that could be the next question. What have you hunted? Or you can feel free not to answer if you don't want to.
You're good. Well, I'll tell you, I've hunted sharks.
Oh, okay.
Hunted sharks.
That is you're so cool. That's like the apex type of hunt. Like, yeah, I had sharks, whatever.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen an emu in real life?
Yeah, at the zoo.
Oh wow. And so let's say one of my favorite scenes is when Joe has to go and get this bird out of the cabin. So You're at home, you got to get an animal out, you got to throw a quilt over them. What does your quilt look like? Like, what's your, do you have a go-to quilt or something that you throw on there?
Yeah, actually, the quilt that I have is my daughter's quilt.
So she might be upset, but at least the bird will be out there.
Would be upset, but it's my favorite quilt, and I know that I can get the job done with it. It says her name on it, Noir. That's what I would use.
That is perfect. My quilt in here is it's a pizza. It's shaped like a pizza, so less sentimental, but probably still useful. And you mentioned you got bow trade. So how are you with a bow? Like, how is your archery?
Oh, I'm pretty proficient. I'm really impressed with myself. The first day I went out, I was doing pretty good. I was on target from about 80 yards with a bow. Yeah, using a compound bow and even just a standard bow. I was pretty proficient from about 50 yards.
That is awesome. And so it sounds like you're also working on other things. The Joe Pickett comes out December 6th, 2021. After fans watch that and kind of get a feel for you and your character, what can they look for next for you? It sounds like you have another action movie coming out or some sort of
yeah, well, at the moment I'm working on All American season 4
nice.
That I'm excited about. With this project, I get to tap into my background of athletics. Played football at Hampton University, so All American is just that world for me. And it's a great show that I'm excited to be a part of. Tells a true story. So I would love the followers to check that out as well.
That's awesome. So there you go. You can check out Mustafa Speaks in Joe Pickett and All American this December. And thank you so much for your time. This was insightful and very fun.
Absolutely. Likewise, man. Enjoy it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks so much for watching. Joe Pickett comes to Spectrum and Spectrum On Demand on December 6th, 2021. So you can check it out then. If you liked this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.